An excruciating trans row broke out live on GB News as presenter Will Kingston and panellist Kai Wilshaw found themselves in a fiery clash. The pair began snapping at each other over an article about Staffordshire Police, which has reportedly defied a Supreme Court ruling that states the definition of sex under equality law refers to the biological sex assigned at birth. Staffordshire Police's policy, however, still states that detainees may be placed in accommodation consistent with their gender identity, though its strip search policy states it must be carried out by an officer of the same biological sex as the detainee. Wilshaw was determined to defend the decision, arguing, "The explanation, Will, is that actually what that ruling showed is that in certain services, like the police, like in rape shelters and so on, those organizations are the right places to make the specific arrangements. I think, actually, based on this, we're talking about intimate body searches and we're talking about the accommodation in custody. On those two things, this police force is taking the right approach, which frankly looks like a case-by-case approach." A furious Kingston fumed, "Stop, stop, stop," but was cut off by Wilshaw, who said, "Should we give some context to the viewers? Because at the minute you're making out that this is some sort of madness, but actually it makes total sense." Kingston argued, "But it's misleading, because it's not up to them to make that decision. The Supreme Court said that they need to treat sex as a matter of biological reality, not a matter of their particular gender opinion or gender personality." Wilshaw insisted, "The Supreme Court ruling gives license for organizations to release guidance that is in line with what works for them in whatever sector they operate in." But the host pointed out, "Then what was the point of the court ruling?" Clearly irate, Wilshaw said, "Will, I would argue that a judge, or indeed a television commentator, is not the right person to be deciding what guidance a police force should be using. This police force has decided that on their own, that is their purview, and frankly it's none of your business. If you let me, shall we go into the detail?" In response, Kingston said, "Did you see how much money the police forces across the country are spending on diversity, equity and inclusion, which served to rile Wilshaw even further." He retorted, "Can I take this as you don't want to get into the detail of the article, presumably, but you just want to waffle on?"